You out here with the fancy shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let me take.
This mic is old. This is an AT 2020.
No, I'm new to all of this shit. I ain't fuck with StreamYard in so long, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna take your face, your name out of there. Then I'm gonna add it in after. You know what I'm saying? So what do we call this?
I got no idea, man. I don't know if it's the casuals.
Calm conversation. I don't know. I don't even know how we landed here, man.
I don't even want to have no calm conversation. I want to wild out.
Oh, you want to get crazy?
Straight. Nah, let me stop.
Jeg tror det har jeg sige, hvad du tror mig. Har vi se, og hey, sammen med
Welcome everybody. This is I guess the casual.
I like the casuals. Or the
casuals. All right, you know what? This is the casuals, man.
Yeah.
I'm your boy Reemo, aka Mr. Rich Threads, aka the Prince of Brooklyn, aka the King of Fashion, aka Let's Talk Fashion, and I'm here with my guy. Go ahead,
Ant McQueen, man. I'm just Ant McQueen. I don't have a whole bunch of AKAs. Maybe somewhere down the line.
He bullshitting, y'all.
I'll accrue a couple of those.
The computers be computing when it comes to Ant, man. We call him the boxing librarian, man. If there's something to be learned, Ant will learn it, and then he'll teach your ass. But then he'll do it in like a respectful, manner. And let's just tell him, like, how did we land at this spot? Where
what you just said right there. You just said right there. Being able to communicate with people in a respectful way and not make anybody feel as if they don't know anything. Because that's a common thing amongst us as people nowadays. There's a lot of one-upsmanship. You ain't up on this. You don't know nothing. You a casual.
Yeah.
So we taking the power back.
That's kind of why I started the moniker, the King of the Casuals, because like I'm not traditionally a boxing fan, but I just like endeavoring in new shit. And then when you just jump into something and your mind starts racing and starts going, you're like, you want to consume so much information. Now you go from a casual to, you could have a bit more detailed conversation than a casual. And then, I landed with y'all crazy cats and I was just like, you know what? It's a cool space to be at. The host ain't really cursing at me and shit like that for having a different opinion. And then y'all like just a different group of people. And I just appreciate, rocking with y'all with the JBT, you know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing though. The way I look at it is so long as you're trying to learn anything, it doesn't matter what it is. I think that's what truly makes somebody an enthusiast. Looking to delve into things like, hey, because once you learn one thing, you know that there's something else to learn after that. And then you just fall down the rabbit hole and just allowing yourself to be open to new information. That's what really makes somebody an enthusiast. Not knowing everything off the bat, having encyclopedic knowledge offhand. It's the ongoing pursuit.
I gotta slow you down.
Never ending pursuit.
I gotta slow you down, Ant. Having to be open is crazy.
Hey, you gotta be, man. You gotta be. Like homie used to say on Black Jesus, your mind's not. He say, your mind's not ready and your heart's not open. And that's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be in life, man. That's how you gotta be in life.
Mr. Gems himself. So what actually happened was we sat down in Philly. It happens that I'm wearing an AI jersey, rookie jersey. Shout out to AI, shout out to Philly. And we just had a casual conversation on a casual Sunday, like, you know what I'm saying? And something felt right in that conversation. It was like, yo, maybe we should do something. And we landed.
It's like that sometimes. Sometimes boom.
No fluff, no filter. We was like, you know what? No. Well, pause, whatever. I like how that felt. Like, this was a good conversation. I was like, you know what? And it's very detailed. And I think, like, we could do something and sit down and have a great convo. So we landed here at the Casuals. Amen.
And you know what though? I think it is very fitting because you've been calling yourself the king of the casuals.
Mm-hmm.
My
And you are the
primary channel is the Casuals Corner,
yeah.
so
Whenever
it
it's
just
up,
works.
whenever it's up,
Whenever it's up,
whenever it's
whenever.
up. Yeah, you like the you live in the thug life.
That's right.
Definitely on
I'm
YouTube.
very sporadic
Yeah, I
with
ain't
my
mad at that at all.
streaming and with my posting. I
But
want to become more consistent with it, but
yeah, YouTube be hating on you, bro. Because it's like, to be honest with you, like to really be a fan of the way you know put out your information, because it's digestible to almost everybody who wants to learn something. And then I don't think that YouTube or these entities appreciate what you are doing for the sport in itself, where you're breaking down details and nuances of the sport and really showing people like it's layers to just watching something like boxing. And
and
we
it's not just
appreciate it.
myself, it's other dudes, man. Like
Mhm.
Boxing Gym. Shout out to Coach Barry Robinson, who's one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah.
You got Hidden Gem, Surgical Boxing. You got a couple of cats out here, man, that are breaking it down, but now it's gotten to the point where they hitting people with so many damn strikes. You got guys having to take their content off of YouTube, start Patreon pages and Twitch streams,
Hmm.
and find
Yeah,
out other avenues to be able to break it down like that. And you would think that these boxing promoters wouldn't care because they need all the promotion they could get, but
yeah,
such isn't the case.
absolutely. Well, let's jump right into this, man. Well, we could talk about a few conversations that's going around in and out of the sports world. You should say, like, we're not gonna really dive in one sport. We're gonna jump around and let's talk about somebody. They call him Shakur, Stevenson, Twitterson, whatever you want to label him currently. But I'm gonna say, you know, he's put himself in a position where it's very beneficial to himself to land a big fight being a free agent. What says you?
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly because right now, despite him being a free agent,
Hmm.
this is probably the most chatter that we've seen surrounding him in quite some time since him debuting, coming out of the Olympics, silver
Yeah.
medal. But right now, it seems like everybody is talking about him, whether they're in support or they're a detractor or they're in defense from
Yeah.
something that he said about them. But right
Shout out,
now,
shout out to
everybody's
Kenny.
tweeting about Shakur. If you look on Twitter, it's crazy. He's trending like every day.
But it's a good thing because we kind of seen Ryan be built off, they consider him like a Twitter star, or you know what I mean, Instagram model or whatever you might want to say it. He was a social media darling. But Shakur does have the skills to go along with that persona. And he's not an ugly looking kid though. Like, you know what I'm saying? Dimples and all that. Like, got a little Puerto Rican style hair, hair twist here and
You
there.
got the little
Yeah,
taper
yeah,
with the
yeah,
curl on
yeah,
top, the
yeah,
little
yeah.
sponge curl.
Temple fade, you know what I'm saying? But that's what the kids like and that's what the girls like. So he can pander to that audience if he really wants to. And I'm not really mad that, he's making himself be known other than being a technician in the ring. It's like you got to sell yourself at some point in time. And if the naysayers aren't going to do it for you, why not do it yourself?
Absolutely. That's one of the key things. It doesn't matter what you're doing in this world, whether you're a boxer or you're selling blenders or you're selling shoes or you're a lawyer, you can be the best at your respective job, field, passion. If nobody knows, it doesn't matter. It's like that old saying about the tree falling in the woods and nobody's around to hear it. Did it really make a sound?
Did it
So it's like you
fall?
can be out here boxing people's ears off. But if folks don't know who you are outside of a select few, outside of that niche, if you want to go to the next level,
Hmm.
you have to transcend your sport to some degree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So would you say the behavior that we're seeing from him, because we got a few rumors today on I guess Twitter or wherever the social media that they were in negotiation and not in negotiation. The fight is happening between him and Tank. Like, where does that place negotiations, one, in boxing, and two, putting yourself in position via the internet?
Oh, that's an interesting question. That is a very interesting question. Who knows? Who knows? Who
Mhm.
knows? Who knows? That's one I feel is difficult to answer.
Cause I think, I think the kids, cause all right, we're not at the age where we want to say we're young, but we're not old. But we seen the transition of the way media handles sports and the way sports handle media, where now the athletes are taking more control of their, let's say, trajectory and the way that the conversation goes. And we're from the tri-state area. When you are one of the sports team members, New York media chews you up. You know what I'm saying? Now a lot of these either athletes or basketball players, whatever, ex-basketball players, now they have podcasts and outlets where they can have conversations with their peers and they could get the message that they want to get out per se, rather than waiting around and having terrestrial radio or media cover them. But I think Shakur did a job where it's like, I know everybody was like, oh, he should sign here to get this fight, and he's really the one who's the decorated Olympian, the one who jumped a couple divisions, and to be signing someplace to go get a contender or somebody who's never owned the. I never really understood that, and I think that's the ideology of the old timers fans. Where
No,
things
that
are
makes
just
a lot of
changing.
sense. That makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. But here's the thing: boxing is still very old timeish, very archaic in the way in which it operates.
Mm-hmm.
Where you got to go wherever if you want to play ball, you got to pull up to the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want this certain fight over here, because it comes up in these conversations, you hear it from boxers in interviews, you hear it from promoters. Because the thing is, win or lose, and I'm talking about for the fighter,
Yeah.
the promoter, their biggest concern is whether or
Winning.
not it's a win-win for them.
Yeah.
That's why we have so many in-house fights, or you'll see a particular promotional banner have a monopoly on belts in a specific division. Like
Yeah.
Top Rank had a damn stranglehold on the belts at 135 for the
Yeah.
longest time, where they were able to have these in-house unification fights, in-house undisputed fights, like
Mm-hmm. Back to back. Back to back.
T.O. and Loma. Um,
Devin was over there with a belt.
uh,
Then they went for
T.O. and Loma. Then you had what's my guy's name? Cambosis and
Cambosa
T.O.
and Tio.
Then Devin and Cambosis.
Yeah.
Then Devin and Loma.
Yep. Yep. And then Loma got another shot at Cambosis. And he got another belt
Right.
over there. And then Shakur got a belt over there. So I get like the size when it comes to all of that shit. But like they gotta figure out a way. Cause right now, boxing, I believe, is like 14th in popular sports in the US. And I think it's the age of the sport compared to the age of the following. And I don't believe they've found new ways to engage with, new guys, new people, because UFC kind of been kicking ass. So my question to you would be, how do you get boxing back into the top 10?
You have to promote boxing across multimedia.
Mm-hmm.
You got to promote it across multimedia. Like right now, look what we like. You got a Sixers jersey on. I got
Yeah.
a Mets hat on. And I always got to say this. My granddaddy always wore a Mets hat. That's why I wear a Mets hat.
Okay.
But I say that to say this. What boxing apparel is there?
Yeah, you got a
These
point.
things to some degree we're walking billboards.
Yeah, yeah.
That is
Yeah.
in promotion of two franchises, the NBA and the Sixers. This is MLB and the New York Mets.
And the
Two
Bloods.
franchises.
And the Bloods. And the Bloods.
Right. Even then, again, it's like
No, I don't
even
want no problem, y'all.
listen, even the Bloods, even the Crips, the
Yeah.
Latin Kings, whomever, they have something
Yeah.
that they
That,
can
that
wear. Like
stand out. Yeah.
what is the boxing apparel that you can just wear down the street? You're not about to be wearing no boxing trunks or a damn robe
Yeah.
or
You know what?
shoes down the street.
Stay right there. Once upon a time, Roy Jones was actually signed to Jordan Brand, and he had commercials out, and he also he was in rap videos, and people were his trainers to go. Go where he needed to go. It lended his personality out of the ring, like you say, right? So, like, say, like we was just talking about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is actually signed to Reebok recently with Angel Reese under the tutelage of Shaq and AI. And this is so fitting. I didn't even know I was going to talk about this, but yeah, we don't know that unless we're a fan or you're into like the fashion or the business side of things, that we don't even know that Shakur is a new athlete signed by Reebok.
Right. And that's what they need to be doing. Putting them on billboards, putting them in commercials. Man, I just saw a New Balance commercial the other day, and damn near everybody who's got an endorsement with them was in that thing, man. They had like Kawhi, they even had Action Bronson.
Oh yeah, Action Bronson dropping some heat. He dropping heat over there.
Yeah, the New Balance is fire.
Yeah, he doing
but
his thing.
They need to have Shakur in these commercials. And I saw some of the sweatsuits that he had on during the Blood, Sweat, and Tears, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
That program that they had for the fight with him and De Los Santos. And I'm like, yo, that sweatsuit is fire. Y'all need to have him in commercials, maybe jogging or boxing, doing something.
Yep.
We've seen
shadow boxing or something.
We've seen Ryan Garcia in a Gatorade commercial a couple of years ago.
Gatorade with Dame Lillard.
With Dame Lillard, yeah.
Absolutely. And I just don't think that, I wouldn't say that, they don't lend themselves, because they are on Twitter all the time, but I just don't think that they do enough to promote themselves as a brand. I get the whole they spend time in the gym and all this other stuff, but like, as being an entity of yourself where you can make dollars outside of the ring, I don't think these fighters go hard enough as they should. That was crazy, but you know what I'm saying.
No. I'm with you 1,000%. I'm with you 1,000%. I think that's the thing that really holds them back. Not just them, but boxing as a whole. Because when you look at all of these other sports, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, they have recognition outside of their respective game nights.
Yep.
Like, you're not just gonna see Anthony Edwards in a damn Minnesota Timberwolves game. You're gonna see him in Adidas commercials. You're gonna see Breonna Stewart in this commercial. Even the WNBA right now, they're starting to
do their thing, man. I seen
it percolate.
Listen, Kim K probably heard me. I said, you got skims on NBA players. Yep. But what about the WNBA ladies? And shout out to them. They doing their thing. Their marketing been crazy. They've been killing the red carpet before the game. So like, I definitely want to say, like, you've gals been given the opportunity, and you haven't disappointed the public, man, at all.
You got extra West India right there, gals.
The gal, them, you know what I'm saying? Definitely did. So, being that we are talking some boxing, we got a big weekend coming up. Probably one of the hottest cards of the year, August 3rd, out in LA, man. And we got I just want to run down the list with you, because you are actually the boxing fanado on this casual conversation with the casuals. So I'm gonna run down some of the fights, and you lend your expertise on some of this shit, man. So we got Terence Crawford in the main card versus Madrimov. What you got?
Fight. I think it's a good fight. I got Terence. I think Terence will probably end up finding him around the middle rounds, because Madrimov he's very good. Like, I watched him, Coach Tommy. Shout out to my guy, Coach Tommy Fitness. Also, Tampa Tommy, Real Prison Talk with Tommy.
On the JBT network.
A couple of months ago, when the fight was announced, he had sent me a couple of Madrimov fights to watch. He was like, check him out. I think he could really give Bud some issues. And I watched him. I gotta say, like he moves well. Like, he got good footwork. Like, he used a lot of angles. he's sturdy as hell. Like when you see him, like his musculature, his build, like he's a sturdy dude. He
Yeah.
got a decent punch on him. His hand speed looks okay. It don't like it's anything crazy. He seems like he's got good IQ because he's a decorated amateur. You know how they do out there in those
Yeah.
European countries. Them
Yeah.
guys, them
They
dudes from
fight.
Russia, Ukraine, yeah, they be
Yeah.
having like 200 plus amateur fights. A lot of them guys. That's why they turn pro so damn late.
At like 30.
Yeah, like Lomo was like what 27 when he turned pro, but he had 400 amateur fights.
Gotta bring money to the country, man. Like they're not playing that at all. I wonder if the power will carry with Bud changing to another division. That's my only question because where he coming from? 35?
Yep.
So 35 to 54. And he's going against, like you say, one of them big Europeans. So it's like I don't know. I'm gonna go decision. I'm not gonna say he's gonna stop him. He might style on him because the black rhythmic, you know what I'm saying? And he's really a hell of a boxer. So that might be to his favor, but I don't know if it renders him with the KO. Just like we seen with like kind of like Benavidez when he went up. And he looked like he was in a different class prior to as far as the size, but his speed, you seen the difference, which really got him that victory more than, blungering assaults that he usually, puts on dudes at 168.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't I guess we'll see. So you got it on a decision.
But here's the thing, though.
Go
You
ahead.
got to take this into consideration. Bud, he
Mm-hmm.
had what 11 straight knockouts at 147.
I think at 47 he knocked out everybody.
Everybody, it was like 11 straight or 10 or something like that, which
Listen,
is
that is
remarkable. He went up, and not only
mhm,
does he have power, but the thing that makes him dangerous is the type
timing,
of shots that it's the type of shots that he lands.
speed,
Like David Benavidez is, like you said, he's
overwhelmed.
gonna pummel you and just boom, 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 and he's letting
Yeah,
his hands go. It's accumulation. With Bud is usually he'll set that trap is one shot and then boom. Once you
yeah.
get clipped, you either out or you just out on your feet, and then he just wraps it up after that.
You know what I would say with him? What I noticed, even if he hasn't had somebody really severely hurt early, he puts them in a position where they kind of get embarrassed from being knocked down in a timely punch, and
Yep.
now they start fighting uphill, and he's just down here throwing boulders. You might, what I mean, you might dodge a few, but when the storms start coming your way, he's such a precision surgeon that he gets you out of there like that, like you know what I mean.
Yep.
But
Yep.
now to some of the undercard, right? So we got Ryo versus Cruz. This one right here, very, very intriguing to me because I don't know where to go with this one as far as picking.
Neither do I. Neither do I, to be honest with you, because I don't know what the hell Ryo is gonna do. We know what Pitbull is gonna do, but I gotta say to Ryo's credit, after he got knocked out by what's my guy's name, Edwin De Los Santos,
Yeah,
he came back. He fought Chris Colbert. He did fantastic in the first half of the fight, but then in
yeah,
the second half of the fight, he kind of let Colbert back into it. A lot of people felt like the decision was controversial, that
hmm
Ryo should have got it. But then in the second fight, he handled business. And I got to say this too. He also looked a tad bit different in the second fight. And I think part of it was him, if he didn't get a new trainer, I believe he went back to his original trainer. Because for a little minute, he was over there with Jose Benavidez Sr.
yeah.
And then
And I
after that other trainer, that footwork looked a little bit better. I'm
so
not gonna
so
lie.
so where is he now? He's with Robert, right? I think he's with Robert Garcia, and I believe his advisor is David Benavidez Sr. still. Something to that effect. He's
Mm.
his head trainer, but I think he's with Robert Garcia over there.
I'm about to do a Google search. That's the beautiful thing about the computers.
Because I did
All
see
right.
them. I did see them in that new episode that dropped for their trailer. That shout out to
Yes, he is. It is Robert Garcia.
yeah, there we go. Like
Shout out to Shines I Tell.
listen, man. I kind of like that pairing because I did hear prior to he was starting to smell his own success, where you start getting a little distracted here and there, and then it might render you to the ladies and the lifestyle. And, it kind of looks different. And he got caught with in the lights, in the alarm lights, and then he got caught in the lights looking up because he got knocked down. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Oh
And
yeah.
then there's Pitbull. Pitbull's a whole nother type of beast. Like he kind of got his okay and his graces from the tank fight, but after that, he had one showing that we could say was subpar, but he really been kicking ass ever since then.
Even that fight with Giovanni Cabrera, I thought he looked okay. Because a lot of people felt like he was getting outboxed. I didn't feel that way. Personally, I felt like it was him just being a little bit overzealous,
Yeah.
trying to get Cabrera
Going,
up out of there,
going,
trying to
yeah,
catch him
going
with
for
big
it.
shots.
Going
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
He wasn't out there. When he used that jab, it worked.
Mm-hmm. When he does use the jab, because he very rarely uses his jab.
Seldom.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know where this fight goes, but I for sure damn know it should be very entertaining. It might be
Very
it might steal
entertaining.
the show. It might steal the show for the night because Ryu, big puncher, Pitbull, big puncher. I just think, matter of fact, I'll let you go. What are the keys to victories for each of these guys?
I think one thing that this is very compelling to me, and this is what I'm curious to see. All right, so Pitbull, he operates out that high guard.
Yeah.
I rewatched that fight, the rematch that Ryo had with Chris Colbert, and I was noticing he got a nice little guard manipulation game where he be
Mhm.
peeling. So for those of you who are not familiar with a peel, it's when the other guy, he got his hands up and you swipe down and pull the hands down, and then you boom try to place a shot. So you peel, punch,
Kind of what a
and
cat would do.
right.
Yeah.
But you just smacking the guy's guard down or pulling it down and then placing a shot behind it. And he was doing that quite effectively against Chris Colbert. But the thing with Pitbull, his guard is it's airtight. Like it's
Yeah.
hard to hit him clean because he keep his hands up and he keep his chin tucked. So I'm curious to see if he can get Pitbull in a space where they're either stationary or he's pushing them back to where he can
Mhm.
implement that. Because I'm not sure if he can do that going backwards. And then the other thing I want to see from Ryo is whether or not he's improved his lateral movement. Because the one thing I did notice with him is even though in his last fight he looked like he had a little bit more spring in his step, like he looked
Yeah.
quicker on his feet, looked light on his feet,
Mhm.
it was still in a straight line. It was forward and backwards. He wasn't really moving laterally like that. And then on the occasions when he was pulling straight back, Chris Colbert was able to tag him as he was pulling straight back. And that's where, for Pitbull, it's going to be imperative for him to throw some damn straight punches. Like you can't just be winging overhands because they're going to
Yeah.
fall short because his reach is it's only but so much. And Ryo being a much taller guy, if he's pulling
Mhm.
straight back and Pitbull's throwing these winging shots, they're gonna fall short. So you got to make sure that they're straight punches and they get to
Mhm.
the target.
Well, you know what? My issue with some of this fight is height differential. It's hard to adjust punching down to a smaller guy because that's not really natural. Like at your same level, maybe, but then higher, maybe. But like punching down is so unorthodox, and then you got a buzzsaw coming at you. So I think the keys for uh Ryo is kind of be the boxer like Cabrera was, but put a little pop on him. put some water in the basement a little bit. You might have to put yourself a little bit in danger, but be responsible with that because we know, when the little guy starts going is, but he got to give him something to respect as well. Like Rolly, I don't think Rolly got mowed over. I think he was kind of got placed in a bad position where he got called for excessive holding early, and then it kind of hamstrung him. But that's a part of it as well, so I think he has to choose his spots where he wants to be responsible, but he has to also be offensive and bring it to him, if anything.
I like what you said about putting yourself in danger because that's
Mhm.
how you set traps. You appear to be vulnerable. You get the other person to start throwing punches, and then now you can start placing punches in between their punches.
Mhm.
But you got to be willing to take those chances. I think that's where Rolly got messed up in that fight with Pitbull because there were a couple of times where he would move back
Yeah.
and he would get Pitbull's punches to fall short, but he was out of position to be offensive, and that's where it gets tricky, like hopping too far out of range. You can't be too far out to where you can't work now. Like you
Yeah.
still got to be in position to work.
I don't know if that kid Cabrera really had much of a thud to really deter Pitbull. So and also isn't Rayo Southpaw?
I believe he is.
Yeah, that might be to his advantage if he could really get it off and get his head off the line. Cause
I just looked at his box record. They got him at 5'10".
Mm.
And I think Pitbull is 5'4". Yeah, that's a huge height differential.
Yeah.
And Pitbull got a 63-inch reach. Rayo's reach is 70.
So he gotta play. I mean, play to his advantages, to be honest with you, because at this point in time, I don't understand why people can't take the Shakur Stevenson route. It's okay to win on points. It might not
It
be
is.
pretty, it might not be entertaining, but he's in a position where he can't take another loss right now after he's built himself up from actually avenging the last loss that he had on his record. I actually wanted him to fight De Los Santos again prior to him actually fighting Pitbull, especially at the weight class. But I mean, we'll digress. Let's continue on with this card. So Tim Zoo and actually Virgil is off this card now. That's no longer happening. So we could ixnay that one. We got what we got? We got Andy Ruiz and the baby. Big baby. Jarrell Miller. So there's so many babies. It's big baby,
Right.
there's little baby, there's Jarrell Miller, there's what is his name? Anderson. There's a whole bunch
Yeah,
of these
yeah. Jared
goddamn.
Anderson.
There's all these babies running around. But what you got for this fight right here?
I might have to take Andy in this one.
Mm,
And the reason being is the competition at Andy's face. Like Andy's faced some really good fighters. Like, yo, he's faced Anthony Joshua twice.
yeah.
He's faced what's my guy's name? The one that just beat Zhang.
Parker?
Joseph Parker. He's fought him. And a lot of people felt like he won that fight. It was a close ass fight.
Yeah.
He
You know,
fought Luis Ortiz.
mm-hmm. He fought what's my other guy from the Mayweather gym? I forget his name. I can't remember off the top. But what I would say for Andy, I just think Andy has been so inactive. So has Big Baby. He's been inactive as well, for whatever reasons and stuff outside of the ring where I don't want to touch. But it's like Andy had an opportunity where he shocked the world.
Yep.
And he squandered that opportunity and basically ate himself out of being the guy. You know what I'm saying? And
He was the new age Buster Douglas, because that's what happened with Buster Douglas after he beat Mike Tyson. Like he was just
yeah, he went
stopped
down
working
there.
hard.
Yeah, he didn't even work hard. He just ate everything that came his way and he was enjoying the fruits of his labor too much, but I don't think he really like at that point in time and who he was, and because he was in a late replacement, I believe, in that fight, correct? He was in the
Who, Buster
original.
Douglas?
No, Andy. He was in the
Oh, and
original
yeah, you know who was supposed to fight him?
Big Baby.
Yep.
Yes, and then he got
So this is a full circle moment now.
yeah. Listen. Sometimes some people fall in contentions and they fall into your lap, and he took the best advantage of that moment.
Yep.
But moving forward, like these guys, like I said, man, they like women, cars, and you know what I mean, other things that they shouldn't be indulging in, especially being a professional athlete. But we got a couple other names on this card. We got Morel, we got Andy Cruz. I believe they added Little Big Baby on this card. Quick fast, like what do you see at the bottom half of this card as far as stepping up to the plate, adding things to their resume, or even making themselves known to the public, because this is gonna be one of the biggest cards of the year.
I think all of these guys, man, they're in step up fights when you really look at it, just based on the competition that they're facing. Like you just mentioned, Morel, he's fighting the dude, Kalajic. And
Mhm.
Kalajic is a damn good fighter. This dude's like 29-2, and he's only been stopped once. And the one who stopped him was Arthur Beterbiev, and that dude got 100% knockout ratio. He stopped everybody, so there's no shame in getting knocked out by him. Not saying that you should be getting knocked out, but if you're gonna get knocked out, it should be by the guy who knocks everybody out. There's no
Well,
shame in that. It's like getting dunked on by Shaq. Like, what you gonna do? Shaq dunk on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
in parallel sports, I would say Morel is kind of like, the Kobe aspect where, he's supposed to be this big prospect and he doesn't have a lot of fights in his belt, but he passes the eye test. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I
oh
think he
yeah,
should be next up, and he's calling out some big names, and he's kind of chasing some big names up to the next division as well. So I think a good showing puts him in position.
definitely,
to-
especially against a guy like Kalajic, because those who know about Kalajic, they notice that this dude can fight. So it's
Mhm.
like he may not have the name, but like those who know, if
Yeah,
he has a good showing against him, then it's like, damn, he made this dude look like that.
yeah. So like the kids say, if you know, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So now Andy Cruz, right? Andy Cruz is a little interesting conversation where, high decorated amateur background, Olympian, gold medalist, all this other thing. He put some hands on Keyshawn, what is it, 4 times or something like that. He came out, he said, I'm your daddy. But these kids that he's kind of behind right now, you know, they've had time to acclimate themselves into the pros where he's a little bit older in trajectory of time. Where does he have to have a major showing so he could kind of leapfrog his timeline into those conversations with these big names? Because he's what, almost 30?
Yeah, he's 28. He's 28, but they're fast tracking him though. And
Yeah,
the fact that they got this dude fighting in 10 rounders already, I think it speaks volumes to the talent that they believe he possesses. And he's another guy where he passes the eye test as well. Because you've seen the guys that he's fought thus far, all of these guys have winning records. That's not the case with
yeah,
most prospects. Most of the time, these guys, they fight their first 5 to 10 opponents. These guys are clearly overmatched. Dudes be like 6-25 and stuff like that.
yeah.
Guys you never even heard of, or they're fighting in a
Ballroom.
smoky bar in
Yeah,
Tijuana, Mexico, or something like that.
yeah, absolutely.
Guadalajara and shit. So
Shout out to the Haneys and the Mexican upbringing. Shout out to them.
they said my guy Trill Bill was out there stimulating the economy out there. He was paying guys more than what they were supposed to be getting paid. So shout out to Bill Haney for stimulating the economy out there, man.
Funding the villages. So being that we're in the time of the Olympics, man, I gotta sit up for this one, man. Right? We had the inaugural ceremony. Shout out to Snoop Dogg, man. Goddamn legend. I don't know where Snoop Dogg fits into anything athleticism, anything sports culture, but he is a motherfucking icon. And he might
Yeah,
be he might be the most popular rapper of all time.
he's one of the most popular people of all time. Like it's
Facts.
ridiculous.
to go from Martha Stewart to Snoop to Dr. Dre and Tupac. Don't forget his time with Master P. You can't make this shit up. Where now he's holding a torch and he got a Simone Biles t-shirt and like the Olympics been dope just with his presence alone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he's got a knack for it too with that commentary. And it seems like it doesn't matter what the hell he's commentating on. Snoop just finds a way to make it entertaining and keep the.
Absolutely. That's the
It's like
personality.
one of us at home. It's like one of us at home.
Just kicking it, just shooting the shit. Because I remember they did have him on Triller at on the boxing call, and he did such an entertaining call. I'm like, I wouldn't mind hearing celebrities be brought in who are the casuals to talk shit about a sport they enjoy watching. You don't have to have money vested. You don't have to follow the sport for 40 years. But if you turn on your TV and you see something that you like, what do? You watch it.
Right.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with having somebody like that to bring new people into the sport, man. And that's what we want. That's what we need in the sport. But with that all being said, so Team USA, they've assembled what they call the Avengers, I guess. Being that they lost last year in the last Olympics was 4 years ago now. And they brought the Tatums, they brought the LeBrons, the Embiids, they brought the who's of the NBA into the USA system. But my question to you, Ant, has the world caught up to USA basketball at this point?
Oh, absolutely. 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 When you just look at how many of these teams, it's ridiculous when you see how many, like Canada's team, it's like comprised of like damn near all NBA players, man. Like it's crazy.
Tough. They tough, and they young. They young, and they young.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I get a little bit sad when I see my guy hooping, man. Cause I'm like, damn, yeah, we got OG, cause I'm a Knicks fan, but yeah, we got OG. But seeing RJ finally start to turn the corner.
Yeah. You know what?
SGA.
SGA in his mind, he's the guy. I don't know. See, my problem with the whole USA. Matter of fact, let's run down some of this lineup that we have. We do have KD, we do have LeBron, we have Embiid, we have Drew Holiday, we have Steph Curry. We also have Ant Edwards. Jump in. Who else we got on the squad? We got White, Halliburton, who hasn't played much at all yet. We do have who's my man from Miami?
Bam
Adebayo. We have some names where it should all look good, but my only reserve about this team is two situations. Is KD health-wise, does he hold up? And two, Embiid, how much has he bought into being a member of this team?
I thought he would have been playing for like Cameroon or something like that.
See, I don't know, man.
Does he have like dual citizenship? Embiid?
Man, whoever got that bag, whoever got that bread, whoever got that bread, The crazy thing is about it is like, all right. I'll be honest with you. Going into the whole Olympics thing, preliminaries and all that, I was kind of nervous, because I'm like, KD's not playing. He has an injury to his leg. What do I expect out of this team without Kevin Durant? Especially with Embiid, I don't trust him health-wise to even get through the whole thing. And now that I've seen it on court where they actually did their thing in the first game against the Joker and his squad.
Serbia.
Yeah. It's like, all right, it looked good because Kevin Durant went crazy. He ain't missed a shot.
He did.
He ain't missed a shot in the first half. LeBron play like he was 25 years old, and then everybody else played their part in between. But moving forward, how do you see this playing out?
I'm not sure. I just need to see some more continuity from them because in
Hmm.
those exhibition games that they had, the offense looked a little stagnant. It looked like it was a little bit too much isolation. They didn't really have too much flow.
Hmm.
It's just like you said, it's like on paper it looked good, but then you see it on the court and it's the ball's not moving like you think that
Yeah.
it would, man. It's just like, yo, there's like no flow to the offense.
So we seen actually the game that they played against Joker and the crew. Serbia, you said? Yeah,
Yeah,
Serbia.
Serbia.
Jason Tatum actually didn't play that game. And Kerr came out and said, I felt like an idiot.
But you didn't get to use Jason Tatum, who's obviously one of the best players in the league. Obviously, that's one of the hard things to do in your role.
Yeah, it's tough, but Jason handled it really well. I talked to him today before the game that it may play out this way, just with Kevin coming back and the lineups that I wanted to get to. But that'll change. Jason's going to play. Every game's going to be different based on matchups. He's a total pro. He's first team All NBA 3 years in a row. I felt like an idiot not playing him, but in a 40-minute game, you can't play more than 10.
Not playing him. But in some situations, when you have a guy that's hot as fish grease, as in KD, it's understandable. But do you think that Kerr has enough skill set from that seat to really handle all of these names that's really on here? Because they're not all, I would say, veteran guys. There's a couple veteran guys that might know, you know, what it takes to sacrifice. But if I'm Tatum, I'm looking at him like, I beat everybody else on this roster and won a chip. Why am I sitting down?
I think Steve Kerr should be able to handle it. And I believe his experience, his professional experience just across the board.
Mhm.
Like not only as a member of the Cavs, the Bulls, the Spurs, but also people forget that this dude was an executive in Phoenix.
Yeah, he
Steve
was.
Kerr,
Was he the GM? Did he go up there, or he was an advisor?
I think he was the GM when they were in the damn conference finals. He was the GM of the Suns. So he's got not only just experience, but a wealth of experience.
Yeah.
Like this dude just knows what winning culture is. And then stepping in to the Golden State situation and how many championships they win? What, 4 now?
Yeah, that situation fell into his lap. But my only reserve about his positioning as head coach and kind of Steph's first. This is Steph's first Olympic situation going in with the team. It's not looking the same because the offense that they run in Golden State isn't predicated the same way as it is for USA. Because Steph likes to run off multi screens, back screen. He's the picker. He'll dip and he'll dive. He'll, you know what I mean? Back door. One, he's an older gentleman at this point in time. Like it or not, love it, whatever you want to say. He's an older guy right now. And Edwards in his mind feels as though I got as much dog as this dude got, and I'm younger. Give me the fucking ball. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if egos might play a part in the situation, which I hope not, because being that we're American, we would love to see them bring the goal home. But I don't know, man. I won't say I feel 100% confident that this was a walk in the park situation.
Nah, especially not with the way that these other teams are comprised now.
Yeah.
Cause it's astounding. I saw some stat the other day. I can't remember exactly what it was. I got to see if I could find it. But they had an infographic, and it talked about the number of NBA players that are participating in the Olympics, not just for Team USA, but
Hmm.
for all the teams. And a lot of these teams have NBA players on their rosters. This is not in the past where you might have had a handful of players
Couple,
like you had like Croatia when they had
cool
Tony
coach.
Kukoc.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little different. It's a little
it's
different.
different now.
And while I'm here though, I would love to give a big shout out to Luol Deng for personally funding South Sudan out of his own pocket and getting them to the Olympics, because that's not an easy feat where you gotta actually compete in the World Cup games and everything to get to the point of even being, in the runnings to win a Olympic medal. And they're damn near like a decade or under in competition itself, based on the Wallace of that man.
And they played pretty damn good too, man. That game that they played against the US, they
Yeah,
were giving
yeah,
them a run for their money in that exhibition.
absolutely. I agree with that. And before we even move on, I want to give a big shout out to the ladies, because the ladies in US competition, I believe I've seen a stat, they only lost 3 games in totality of them even competing in the Olympics. So they just
All
kicked
time?
China's ass. Yeah, all time. 3 games ever lost.
Damn.
50. I think it was 54-3. So they're like 50, 55-3 or something like that right now. They've been kicking ass and taking names, and they just kicked China's ass the other day. So big shout out to the ladies. Y'all been holding it down. I was a big Dawn Stanley fan. The 96 Olympics, that was kind of my era. 92, I was real young. So I couldn't really relate to that except for like, seeing the videos and some of the sneakers, et cetera, et cetera. But the 96 joint was like where we paid attention to it, and Dawn Stanley and Lopez and Cheryl Swoops and all of those big names were on there. So
Cynthia
from
Cooper?
yeah, Cynthia Cooper was on there. So from that point on, it's like they still been showing out, showing up and showing out. So big shout out to the ladies. We appreciate y'all, and good luck. But I kind of think y'all got this. But let's stay in the hoop ceremony conversation, and Summer League wrapped up, and I think Bronny James got a rough, 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 rough appreciation tour during Summer League.
He did. And I already know where you're going with it. And
Yeah,
I'm going to say yes. This dude, I feel like a lot of the criticism is just a tad bit overblown for him, man. It's excessive. And the other part is this: when he actually started playing well, because them last 2 games in the summer league,
yeah,
he started to turn it around.
yeah,
And the praise definitely was not as loud as the criticism. When he was playing like crap,
yeah.
everybody's like, "Oh, he's trash.
He's
He
not a
only
pro.
right.
Yeah,
He only averaged 4 points at USC. Somebody else should have his spot." But then when he's playing well, nobody's giving him his props. You got to give him his props.
you know
And
what?
there's a dude I've been watching awful coaching. Did I send you that clip?
No, I ain't see the coach. I ain't see the coaching clip, but I would say that Bronny he's not what they want him to be. He's a super athletic kid, but he might be, realistically, if I could say a trajectory to somebody right now, I would give him more of a Markel Fultz. Super athletic. He plays with a pace that might not be traditional. He's gonna pick the certain shots that's favorable to him, but he has a good head on his shoulders to keep him on court.
I agree with that 1000%, yo, because I ain't gonna lie to you. I think that might be my favorite aspect of his game. His
Mhm.
playmaking, his vision. He has really good vision.
Look
I
whose daddy
cannot
is.
front on his yo,
You know what I'm
that
saying?
little dude got some vision, man. He's got some vision.
You know what I would say though? I would say that the pace of the NBA he needs to adjust to, because he's not particularly a big guard. He's maybe what, 6'3", 6'4",
Yeah, he's about
if
six
that.
six two, 6'3".
Yeah, so like he has a crazy vert, like 41 inches or something crazy. So it's like
Yeah.
if they hone what he's good at into a system out of the best situation, You might get a what's the white guy that LeBron loved that used to play over there in LA? Damn, I forget his name. But he went to the Bulls. Well, whatever.
Oh, Alex Caruso.
Caruso. You might get
Caruso.
Caruso. High energy, playing spot minutes, give you amazing spot moments where it's gonna feel like you had 30, but you really had 5. You might have 5 points.
You know who I was thinking about though, Reemo? When you were saying Caruso, I was thinking about because I was just thinking about his defense. That's another thing I gotta say about Bronny too. Bronny's a pretty damn good defender.
Yeah.
And a lot of it I think has to do with his IQ. Like he plays the gaps well. He's a good on-ball defender. He communicates well as far as calling out switches and rotations and all this other stuff. I was thinking maybe a guy like Avery Bradley. Like Avery Bradley wasn't a big guard, but he was a really good defender. He could knock down an open three.
I can
He
see
was
that.
solid enough of a ball handler. He ain't had bad handle, but he
could bring the ball up.
He could bring it up. He could be the primary ball handler in spots. You might not want to have him sustained, but just in spots.
Yeah.
But primarily just be out there playing defense, cutting back door, getting easy layups, catching and shooting.
Absolutely. You know what? I'll give you 2 more names that have played with LeBron, who people traditionally wouldn't be like, oh wow, like, you know what I'm saying? But Bronny could be as good as a Norris Coles or a Chalmers.
I like Norris Cole when he first came to Miami.
So let's say
solid.
3. We could say a Norris Coles. We could say even Amon Shumpert, defensive minded, and we talking about Cavs because LeBron didn't play with him until the Cavs where the ACL was already torn.
I was just about to say that was the saddest thing for me, man, as a Knicks fan when Shump got hurt because Shump was looking like the clamp god. Like he was looking like he was en route to being just like baby Tony Allen at one point. Like his defense was ridiculous.
So excited on the other end when he got a chance to really
bounce.
Crazy.
Yeah, bounce.
But I would give those 3. Chalmers, Coles, and Shump. If those guys had an opportunity to win championships with LeBron and Bronny plays to the level of those guys, he'll be just fine. My issue is what comes along with the rest of that roster. That's my only takeaway from that. I don't know if they've done enough to shore up that AD does not want to play the 5. At some point in time, that has to become a harsh reality. He's not a 5, and Joker eats him up every single time.
So let's look at the rest of this roster and tell me what you think. All right, so I'm looking at the roster right now. 2024. We got of course we got Bron, Spencer Dinwiddie. I like Spencer Dinwiddie. He's solid. Rui Hachimura. I'm still waiting for him to take that next step because at one point he was kind of being billed as like the second coming of Kawhi Leonard.
Because
he was over there in Washington.
Because he's a black Japanese guy and he ain't never had nothing like that. That was the only reason.
All right, we got Bronny James. They got Bronny listed as a shooting guard, actually. That's interesting.
That's crazy.
Christian Wood. I like Christian Wood. Max Christie. Jalen Hood Shafino.
Don't know him.
Anthony Davis.
So
Torian Prince.
I like him. But I don't think they utilize him for what he's really beneficial from. But go ahead, keep going.
We got D'Angelo Russell. They still got him. Austin Reeves. I like Austin Reeves' game, man. I like he kind of got that Mark Price type of game to me where it's just like very simple and efficient.
I like this
very
name.
Simple and effective.
I like this name. They call him Hillbilly Kobe. That was so fire.
What's the name? Was the white mamba, wasn't he? Brian Scalabrine.
Yeah. Crazy ass white boy. Crazy ass.
I was just talking to one of the homies the other day about Brian Scalabrine because I was talking about that damn challenge that he had when he was playing them dudes because everybody was thinking he was a trash.
He was trash. He was pulling up to him in like the local 24-hour fitness or LA Fitness, and he was busting their ass. Like, y'all gotta remember, it's a difference between you a good player in a gym and an NBA player. It looks different. It feels different. The way that they even stretch is different. So y'all better calm it the fuck down. Cause I don't know what y'all think y'all gonna do out of that one. Cause every single time you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Like Brian Scalabrine ain't Brian, but your ass ain't Brian either.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And the gap between Brian and Scalabrine may be right here, but the gap between everybody else and Brian Scalabrine is like all the way out here somewhere. Like, yo, and these dudes don't be understanding how good you have to be just to be a bench warmer in the NBA.
Right.
There's like what, 450 roster spots in the NBA?
Yeah, it's probably been under 2,000 jobs in the NBA in totality. So what makes you think you could talk crazy to somebody who made it to the 1 percentile of the world? Like, these guys are pushing to go be in the Olympics just to play against people that got the same opportunity that they wanted that they never really received.
And the last person we got on this roster for the Lakers is Jarrett Vanderbilt. And I do not see a single center on this roster. It's just power forward. They got 4 power forwards. They got Rory as a power forward.
Yeah, that's
Anthony Davis, Taurean Prince, Christian Wood. Oh, that's 5. And Jarrett Vanderbilt. So who's gonna play the 5?
Gonna be an issue because AD has not have committed to being the guy in the center. But whatever. So one of our last topics that we're gonna jump on is Amazon. So Amazon has actually just won the TV rights to knock off TNT and that programming that they had over there with Chuck and Shaq and Ernie and Kenny. What do you feel about Amazon trying to jump into the sports lane? Because now they do have boxing.
Yep.
They do have rights in NFL. They do have rights to the NBA. And I'm not sure what other... Do they have any Major League Baseball at this time?
I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm about to... Hey, it's nothing but a Google search.
Nothing but a Google. But at this time, it's like Amazon is choosing to be one of those players.
They do have baseball on Prime. So, yeah, they got damn near everything.
There we go. So I think it's just a matter of time to the general public readjust, traditionally where they could find sports at. And do you see Amazon being the big player that changes the trajectory of American sports?
Quite possibly. For a number of reasons. For one, it seems like less and less people have cable nowadays.
Cutting the cords.
Mm-hmm. And I saw something the other day, if I'm not mistaken, they said that Prime got like 130 million subscribers or something like that, like in the US alone.
You know what? I'm going to tell you something crazy. I didn't know that having Prime gave you free Prime TV for the longest. I didn't know that.
It's like 130 million people supposedly right now, and it's over 200 million across the world.
Yeah. So I wouldn't have even known that, bro, unless I don't even know how I came across that information, but I don't think that's readily available to everybody where they actually know that their Prime membership lends them to, Prime TV. I didn't know.
Got hella content too. So again, if you cutting the cord, but you got Amazon Prime, now you got 130 million people. So there's a lot of potential there as far as viewership. And then I think also what that does is it helps cut into the pirating that takes place. Because you got all of these like Reddit streams and crack streams, First Row Sports.
You hot right now, ain't it? Take it easy, bro. You're going crazy on them right now. God damn, man.
No need for the fire stick if you got Amazon Prime. So then now it makes it a lot easier for them to tally up viewership.
Yeah.
And then with the viewership comes what? More advertisement. With
Yeah.
advertisement comes what? More dollars. So then now that
More
affects
revenue.
more revenue. So that affects the way that business is done now. So now players are getting more money because the cap is able to expand because they have an influx of money coming in. And the same thing could potentially happen with boxing and NFL. And what I'm also most excited about, and I really, really hope that they take this approach with the NBA. Have
Yeah.
you ever seen one of those NFL games on Prime?
Where it's different angles and different options to pick or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I
You could
believe so.
control all this shit with the remote.
Yeah.
Could you imagine watching a basketball game and saying like, yo, I want to watch it from this vantage point, and you got control over it?
You know what's crazy though? At some point in time, NBA TV did have the VR setup where you can pick multiple different angles to watch it in the VR setting and basically be courtside. But I don't think that, that has ever been mastered or, created to the point where it's like it actually feel like you're in the seat because sitting at the garden, courtside is
Bro, that Prime Vision is
yeah.
serious. It's serious. And then not only can you change the angles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like Madden to
Whoo.
where when they run in plays,
Yeah.
like say if they run a slant, you actually see the overlay on the screen. You see the graphic, like the guy's gonna run up this way and then run the slant. It
Yeah.
comes up on the screen.
That's
So could you
fire.
imagine watching a basketball game? And then I think that also what that does for basketball
Mm-hmm.
is it further educates the fans.
Ooh, that's why we got you here. They trying to take your job, bro.
Hey, let them take it, man. Because
No,
yo,
no,
if
no,
they
no.
got
Let
the
them,
they
let
got
them
the
hire.
technology for it. They got
No,
the
they
technology for it.
gotta
I'm a
hire.
fan too.
They gotta hire you, man, because you know what the fuck you be talking about, man.
I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan. But could you imagine watching? Can you imagine watching a basketball game and then
Mm,
they going into
bro.
various defensive sets? Like they start off man to man, then they go to a box and one, but then everything shows up on the screen that explains what's happening,
When it's
while it's
changing,
happening,
yeah, in
when it's
motion.
changing, when they go into a 2-3, when they go into a 1-3-1, when they go into whatever it is.
The
Like
only
that
thing
shit
I
is
was,
insane.
only thing I would say is if Prime decides to go in this motion of taking over sports, they need entities and commentators like a Snoop Dogg, like a Tony Romo, even like what's those the Eli brothers. Something entertaining to
Yeah.
the point where they really know the sport and they could break it down, but kind of gives a different nuance other than the traditional boomer and those guys. I get it, like sometimes you want to hear the color analyst that went to school for broadcast and all of that, but sometimes you want to feel like you in a barbershop and you on the block and you really hearing those dudes talk the way
Or
you
just in
want
the
to.
crib.
Yeah,
That's
just
what made the Manning cast so dope because they literally look like they in the living room. These dudes sitting on the
yeah.
couch. They drinking beers and stuff. They
Throwing
just chilling.
pillows throwing pillows when it's some bullshit. But that's why we here. They need to call us, man, for real.
But I need to see that Prime Vision in the NBA game. That shit would be so fire to me. And then I also, like I said, I feel
Mhm.
like it would just only increase people's fandom because then they would be able to appreciate what it is that they're seeing. A lot of times people just be looking at the end result. They look at the basket being scored, the touchdown being scored,
Yeah,
the knockout, but to be able to see how things unfold.
yeah,
It's like folks don't understand just like how much is taking place within 24 seconds on a basketball court, like a play, and you got this guy gotta set the down screen, and this guy gotta set the other screen, and they gotta run like a Spain pick and roll and all this other stuff. Or what a floppy play, what that entails, where you got one guy running from all the way from this corner, but they set a double screen.
yeah. Look,
And
look at that first game with USA with prior to the halftime where Durant was ran off a screen that was a decoy off of another shooter in Steph Curry,
mhm.
and he got the last shot, and it was for him the whole time, but they just decoyed the whole play in order to make it about Steph, and it was never about Steph.
See, but that's why we need that Prime Vision. So then
That's why.
people could really see it a lot clearer, and they'd be like, "Oh man, that's what they doing."
Absolutely.
That's how you turn people from casuals to hardcores. It's not just about the marketing and all that other stuff. It's
Yeah.
also about educating people so that way they can have a greater appreciation for it. For example, I wasn't always a big baseball fan because I thought the shit was boring. But then
Mm.
one day I was sitting down and I watched a video about strategy where you got the pitcher and how they're trying to regulate the count, how they're trying to control the count. And
Yeah.
depending on where you are in the count, that determines what pitches you can
What
throw.
pitches they
And
going
then
to
if you're
run?
and then if you're a batter, now you're if you're behind in the count, now you might get a little bit more desperate. And you
Yeah.
might swing at some shit that you shouldn't swing at.
Yeah. Give them two things that's familiar and then one off speed pitch, and they always swing. Always
Right.
swing.
And usually the reason why they swing is because they're typically behind in the count. And it's like, yo, I gotta make something happen. But let's say if you're ahead in the count and you're
Mhm.
up 3-0 and there's one more ball and then you get to walk to first base, you
Yeah.
might be a little bit more patient because you like, okay, I still got 3 strikes to work with. But
Yeah.
if you
You're right.
down and you already down 2 strikes,
Yeah.
and
You're
like you
right.
said, that off speed pitch comes, now you like you like,
You
damn, I
fighting.
can't
You
afford to
fighting.
not you can't afford to not swing because that shit happens too. Where guys get struck out looking,
Watching.
where
Just
they throw a
watching.
punch and they just watching, and he's like, damn, I should have swung at that.
See, me personally, like it or not, I like when it was juicing. Like I like seeing that shit. That shit was an amazing time in life. But yo, before we get out of here, man, this is one segment of the show from the casuals. Let's say respectfully. I'm just saying though, where we highlight an athlete, an entertainer, or somebody in the culture that deserve their flowers. So I'm gonna begin, being that we spoke about Olympics, and I'm gonna talk about Carmelo Anthony. But Carmelo Anthony is probably one of the most decorated Olympian basketball players that we had with 3 gold medalists. He's unfortunately he did take a bronze medal when he didn't really get a lot of run, but we used to call him Captain America, where Melo he took the role that was given to him, whether he started, whether he came off the bench, but he was like the microwave scorer for the team. He was the old man on the team. He was a young man on the team at some point in time where he was actually the leading all-time scorer for USA until Kevin Durant actually took over the helm of that and is, adding buckets on top of that as well currently. But it's like I don't think Melo ever really gets his appreciation. So I'm just saying though, like appreciate my guy, man, because he played with the likes of the Kobe's, the LeBrons, the Kyries. He played with the new guys with PG after he got his leg fixed. He played with a lot of different guys, and I think he should be appreciated. And if he wanted to say, like, yo, put me on the roster, why not? He's Captain America. And who you got, man?
I don't know who I got, but before we move on from Melo, I gotta say this too, because I had an argument with somebody one time, and I got heated. Folks need to remember what that Denver Nuggets team, that not even the team, but that franchise was looking like before he got there.
Yeah.
The shit was abysmal. They were in terrible state. It was putrid out there. He stepped in, and then they were perennial playoff contenders,
Yeah.
going as far as the Western Conference Finals. And I feel like he gets such a bad rap as being this selfish guy. Well, I don't believe that to be the case. I don't believe that to be the case, especially here in New York. Phil Jackson really tried to sully my man's reputation and got him up out of here unjustly. But as far as somebody
Undeservingly.
that too, I'm still mad that they got rid of Coach Woodson after he won 53 games. They should have held on to that team.
Knicks tape.
The Knicks tape was miraculous, man. Pablo Prigioni, Tyson Chandler. We got my guy Stats, standing tall and talented.
Kmart,
Jason Kidd,
yeah.
Steve
JR,
Novak. Man, I
Mr.
love
Dope.
that team. The
Yo,
discount double check.
yeah.
That jump shot was water.
Raymond Felton
Jump
was on
back
that
was
team.
water.
Damn, that was a squad, bro.
It was.
That
And
was
they
it.
broke that up. They
Yeah.
broke that up prematurely.
Unjustly.
They broke
I would
that up
say
prematurely.
unjustly to run the triangle with Fisher. Oh, that's such a nasty time in life.
Well, first they were trying to run it with Jeff Hornacek.
Oh yeah, I forgot that. And then they tried Fisher, and then it was just like, what are we doing? D'Antoni.
Then after Fisher, it was Kurt Rambis. Then they had Fizdale in there.
Man, don't bring me to this time, man. And
who is underappreciated? Let me see. Underappreciated. I got one for you. The Rock.
oh,
The Rock.
Rocky Maivia?
Nah, hell nah. The Rock. I'm talking about basketball. The Rock, man.
Who the hell's The Rock?
Mitch Richmond. That was his nickname. The Rock. Mitch Richmond.
Oh, that's a good one, bro. That's a good one.
Mitch Richmond. Because every time somebody makes the damn basketball Hall of Fame, I see this shit pop up regularly on the internet. How come so-and-so didn't make it, but Mitch Richmond made it? Folks make it seem like Mitch Richmond was a bum. Like he didn't have
like a bum. Yo, knock on some fucking wood. Yes, I agree with you.
Like he didn't have 7-8 straight seasons where he was giving out 20 a game.
What a fucking bucket. He was a
bucket.
Yeah, it's just that he paralleled the times of Mike and Drexler. But he was a bucket.
From the time he was in Golden State and when he was in Sacramento.
Absolutely.
Buckets. He was giving everybody buckets.
Absolutely. I agree.
So that's my pick of the night, Mitch Richmond.
Oh, shout out to Mitch, man. We definitely appreciate Mitch over here because when you say like down jumper, post work, able to get a bucket, tough clutch baskets, Mitch was it for a long period of time. And even when he got a little older, long in the tooth, he still found a way to get buckets in between. So once you a bucketeer, it's hard
the consistency, bro. It was the consistency. Like 7-8. Motherfuckers don't realize how hard that is to do. 7-8 straight years.
Yeah.
With at least 20 a game.
In the NBA. Yeah.
In the NBA. And then we also talking about a time in which they didn't have as many possessions as they did now because there wasn't the decreased shot clock. Now it's at what, 14?
Yeah. The game wasn't sped up. It was just like, let's go down the list. I go down the list for you, right? From rookie year, average 22. Second year, 22, 23, 22, 21, 23, 22, 23, 25, 23, 19, 17, 16. The only time he scored under 16 points was his last year in the NBA with the Lakers. So for those that don't agree, disagree with your mama. Because he does look at the numbers in itself. Come on now.
Bro.
What we talking about? Rookie of the year, his first year. Like, this is crazy, man. I didn't even know that his numbers was that crazy, but
crazy.
It makes sense. It makes
I'll
sense.
say this. I'll go as far as saying this. Mitch Richmond was the Carmelo Anthony of his time.
Ooh, that's a good
consistent,
underappreciated,
certified bucket getter. But just like Mitch played in the Jordan Drexler era.
Yeah.
Melo played in the damn
LeBron
Kobe.
And that's it. Whether it be respectfully
even D-Wade.
Even respectfully the West Coast or the East Coast. He just didn't make the right moves, man. And that's just how the cookie crumbles, man. Yo, Ant.
Yes, sir.
This was a great sit down. We definitely got to make this a thing, man. Before we get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you, follow you, hear your great words, or, get some knowledge.
On Instagram, Ant.McQueen. On YouTube, Ant McQueen. Also, Casuals Corner. I don't even know what the hell the whole numbers is. I'm gonna have to send it to you, and then we could put
Put it in the
the graphic on there somewhere. Put it in the description. There we go. That's even better.
Yeah.
But yo, this is the format right here, man. This is the format. Definitely got to have that underappreciated person to end it every single time.
Yes, sir. I think everybody deserves their flowers just like you do and I do. And
Yes, sir.
me being me, I'm Reemo, Mr. Rich Threads, the host of Let's Talk Fashion every Wednesday at 10 a.m. And I think we bumped in a goal with casuals. Let's go with the casuals, man. That's what it is.
Casuals.
Yo, and I'm out of here. To the people, sign us off.
All right, folks. This is Reemo, aka the Prince of Brooklyn, aka Mr. Rich Threads, aka being Reemo is the job within itself, and Ant McQueen signing off for the casuals. Peace.
And we out of here. Peace.